Live from Homestead-Miami Speedway. Welcome, race fans, once again back to Friday Night Prime Time, where we get set to duke it out once again for racing action for the Boat Racing League's premier series. Welcome to the Lightning Series from the Sunshine State. My name is Lorenzo. We'll bring you all the racing action from start to finish here this afternoon from race number 5. Boy, this championship continues to get more and more intense. The big news entering today, the win and you're in is no longer going to be in effect. Of course, the win and you're in only applicable for the first 4 races. So the drivers locked into the playoffs include Lily Frazier, Dalton Kilroe, Peyton Snyder, and Austin Johnson. 4 different winners over the first 4 weeks, and now everyone else behind is going to have to point their way on in. Right now, the bump spot sits between Lane Myers and Zachary Wareham, who are separated by just 3 points. 5 behind Wareham is, of course, Dom Salvo, and Sartaj Med is only 9 behind Salvo. So plenty of racing action still yet to be had over the course of the season, and plenty of chances for drivers to fight their way in to the round of 12 here at the end of the regular series season. But of course, we still have to get ourselves up and working with the remainder of racing action here this afternoon. And with this race only looking to get wild, more and more wild as the season goes along, you know for a fact you're going to be in for a wild one here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Of course, tonight's race, round number 5 of the Boat Racing League Lightning Series, is brought to you by the 4 and Fuel Podcast, a NASCAR podcast that has talked through the perspective of 4 lifelong NASCAR fans. You'll hear hot takes, fan questions, trivia, and much more. Stay in touch with the NASCAR world as hosts Dom, Steve, Wes, and Sam give you the real fans experience. Tune in every week on Spotify and on YouTube. Episodes are released weekly, and content is produced daily on social media. Follow the 4 Fuel Podcast on Spotify, X, TikTok, and Instagram. So qualifying still very much underway here this afternoon as drivers look set to work their way up and around this racetrack. There's the Austin Johnson currently working around the top side of 3 and 4 as he looks set to close out his first lap of racing action this afternoon. Martin Roberg, meanwhile, going to go to the top of the boards. A great run for Roberg, sees himself stand atop the points boards. Austin Johnson did not manage to get the first lap validated. He is going to look to try and do something a little bit more different here on lap number 2. So Johnson hunting through turn numbers 3 and 4 with the thermal number 20 Chevrolet Camaro. We'll see if he'll be able to get a time on the boards. Right now, 15 out of a nearly 30-car field have put down times. Off of turn number 4, a bit of a bobble on the exit of turn number 4. And for him, he will not be able to get the time on the boards that he was looking for this afternoon. Wesley Triplett, meanwhile, has jumped up to the number 2 spot as he tries to chase after what Robert for pole. He is not going to be able to do that, though, as he pulls down to the inside of the racetrack. What about Alex Rickey? Alex Rickey also going to pull his car to the inside. It looks like Bailey Thompson has found the wall in turn number 4, so he is unable to challenge for further laps. Still got plenty, though, trying to put down times. Among those is John Matthews, who just started his opening lap. John Matthews in the 213 Simware number 98 Ford Mustang, working around turn numbers 1 and 2 down the back straightaway for the first time here this afternoon. Only a handful of seconds to go. He's going to catch the outside wall, and that might be it for his qualifying effort. Don't think he'll be able to get a lap validated with that scrape to the outside fence. One driver that will get the chance to get a time in, though, will be the PWR Racing number 00 of Pacey Wajin. Comes off of turn 4 to the start-finish line for the one and only lap that Pacey will be able to get on the boards. And how about that provisional pull by 0.05 of a second? Bobby Blowers will be the last car to put down a lap here this afternoon, as he'll get it in with less than 5 seconds to go on the buzzer, and he will sweep in to 3rd. With all that said and done, the field is all set and ready to go at the end of qualifying here this afternoon. So we're going to take ourselves a rundown of what this absolutely fantastic 26-car field is going to look like as we get set to go racing at Homestead-Miami Speedway. So starting on pole position this afternoon, it is going to be Pacey Wygen coming home number 1 at the end of qualifying for the PBR Racing number 00. Along to his outside is going to be Martin Roberg, the driver. I was gunning for a win at Daytona. Row number 2 will hold Bobby Blowers, putting in that time with less than 5 seconds on the clock. He sits alongside Wesley Triplett. Row 3 will hold Blaine Snyder and Justin Johnson. From there, row number 4 will bring up Scott McCann with the Worth number 12 Ford Mustang alongside Timothy Presley with the W number 32. From there, it's going to be closing out the top 10 on row number 5 for Wesley Riddle and the DoorDash number 23 Chevy Camaro alongside the Red Bull number 64 Camaro of Zachary Wareham out of Canada. Row 6 holds Sam Dooley for Ford Fuel Racing, one of the sponsors for this race, with the number 22 Toyota Camry alongside the Ace Tech Sim Sports number 71 of Elena Pelletier Sharp. From there, row number 7 holds Alex Rick in the Dr. Pepper number 99 alongside the 213simware.com number 05 of Tristan Bear for PBR Racing. Row 8 holds George Chiampoulos with the old style number 14 Mustang alongside the Napa Auto Parts number 86 Chevy of Aaron Lester. Row 9 going to hold Chris Chiampoulos and Lily Frazier for Wolfo Motorsports. Top 20 closed on out by Rodney Ayers and Austin Johnson. And from there, back into the tail of the field, drivers that did not put down qualifying laps in this session is going to be Peyton Snyder with the HendrickCars.com number 48 alongside the WeatherTech number 27 of Bailey Thompson. And then at the tail of the field, it's going to be Lane Myers with the Coors Light number 28 alongside Casey Ellis for PBR Racing. And we're closed out by John Matthews for the PBR 213 Simware number 98 and Troy Washburn, who rounds out the 26-car field. Drivers making their way out onto the racetrack, and, well, one driver that was expected to be here this afternoon, of course, Lane Myers. You saw him was due to start 23rd. Lane Myers not going to be here this afternoon, as Lane Myers and his wife may be welcoming a new member to the family. It happened very suddenly, so, well, Lane, we're wishing you the best of luck, and we're wishing your family the best of luck, as he is off to the hospital as a result. So we'll hope that all is well with Lane and his family. Meanwhile, Pacey Wygen will lead the way out of turn numbers 3 and 4. And we are ready to go racing this time by. Grab you joining us on a Friday night. We're into the restart zone. It's go, go, go for the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Martin Roberg wasting absolutely no time as he's going to drive to the lead down to the turn number 3 that time by. But Pacey Wygen trying to battle back down to his inside as the field works back around to turn numbers 1 and 2. Wygen going to retake the lead from the bottom side while Roberg will continue to fight back up top. Inside versus outside, an ever constant battle at this fantastic track in Miami, and well, Roberg going to be able to take that one away as Pacey Wygen unable to capitalize on the over-under. Might be able to make something happen here down to the turn number 1. Trying to let back to the bottom side of the racetrack. Roberg continues to fight up top, and Roberg will clear for the race lead. Wesley Triplett, Blaine Snyder working 4th and 5th. Bit deeper in the field as they're going to work out of turn numbers 3 and 4. Back down the front straightaway. A little ways behind the Ace Tech Sim Sports 71 of Elena Pelletier Sharp, having to give up a spot to one Tristan Bear down to the inside. Wesley Riddle in the fray as well. Meanwhile, Wesley Triplett, Blaine Steiner going at it, but they're going to have to slow it down as we got one around to the back straightaway. That is going to be Chris Chiampoulos, who will find himself going around to bring out our first caution flag of the night. Tough start for the driver of the number 420 entry. Martin Roberg going to pick up the lead of the race. And we'll find out what happened to Chris. Working through turn numbers 1 and 2 here, as Chiampoulos going to slip up from the bottom side right there, kind of gets down onto the apron, just all by himself, lost the back end, slid up the track, and he's going to nose that thing into the outside safer barrier. Everyone else manages to escape down low. And so we'll be under yellow flag number 1 with only a 1-car incident. Not too hard of an impact, honestly. I think Chris Chiampoulos should be able to kind of get up there. In fact, he is not even coming down pit road, so he doesn't think he's got much or any damage to work with on that car. A bit of a scuffed front nose, but that's about it. Fastest lap of the race so far isn't any surprise. It is set by Mark Roberg, who currently leads the way at the head of the field. Few drivers that do come down: Wareham, Dooley, Ellis, Peyton Snyder, Troy Washburn. And they have come down for 4 tires and fuel, and this is only 6 laps into the race. So I am inquisitive, to put it mildly. Well, what we can do, we can ask one of the drivers that came down to pit road what the call was on that one. We'll bring Peyton Snyder to the broadcast booth. Peyton, you're one of a few drivers that came down under this first yellow flag. Only 6 laps in, but you're already taking tires. What's the call?
The call is the tires were already at 95 on the right sides. So, and I was barely even trying. So, it looks like tires are going to be something to talk about, especially later in the race.
Do you reckon there's going to be any concerns if we get longer green flag runs, or is this going to put you down in the set later on in the run?
It shouldn't. It played right into my hands. I'll run long if I have to here, but I think that there's going to be some right side wear, and I would expect to see maybe some action, cars on the wall, attrition later in the race. So hopefully I'm not a part of any of those incidents, but yeah.
All right, we'll wish you the best of luck as we go double file. Good luck out there on the restart.
Yeah, man. See if I can get there.
Peyton Snyder with the Dodge Racing number 48. Kind of lending some insights on what's going down behind the wheel of these race cars. Tire wear, an ever-present factor here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. And, well, the 122-degree track temp not helping matters in the slightest. It's going to be a rough ride for cars out here this afternoon. The iRacing Pace car makes its turn into pit road. Roberg is up then for the outside lane for the restart alongside Pacey Wygen. Green flag is back out. And race resumes. Trouble already. 1 car spinning, crashing. 2, 3 caught up. A big hit to the inside. They're still stacking them in there. Looked like Aaron Lester may have spun the tires. Chris Chiampoulos, well, now he's going to need to bring it down to pit road to fix damage. Boy, a rough way to kick off that restart there, as that did not go to plan. I think would be putting it politely. Take a look as this all started with Aaron Lester. We were just talking about the hot track temps, right? And, well, spun the tires. Yep, shot up, got into Rodney Ayers at the number 17. And just everyone comes flying in because they're all trying to get up to speed. Flying in because they're all trying to get up to speed. Casiello's had to really lock it down to the outside. The 64 may have actually snuck through the middle there. But man, tough break. Just a slight check up into the outside wall, and I tell you what, I think Wareham actually did manage to make it through that unscathed. Right on board of the 64 here. Ooh, boy. How about that? So Aaron Lester very well could be out of the race. Chris Giampoulos is out of the car, it looks like. George Giampoulos got caught up in that as well. He's going to make his way back out onto the racetrack. Sam Dooley going to get back out there. Wareham, he may have caught some damage, actually. In fact, after all, long stop for him, so he did get involved. Two cautions already, and we're only at the lap 10 mark of this race. The stage is due to end at the start of lap 27. Quite a few drivers opting for the inside, others going up high. Choose cone rule again in effect. Guys must make that decision prior to the start-finish line in a very split decision. Second and third opted for the bottom side, while Roberg will drive up top. So the first stage ending only about 16 laps now. It'll be 15 when we take the green flag. Meanwhile, the second stage not going to end until we are past the halfway point on lap, or at the end of lap 72, going on 73. Well, we'll try this again. Drivers have some time to get the tires cooled down. That might be a hindrance, though, on a track this slick and this hot. Pace car is in. Green flag. Back into the air, this time by this time we make it down to turns 1 and 2 with no problems. Wygen looking to attack Roberg. Behind. Blaze Snyder kind of chopping the nose of Wesley Triplett. Well, Pacey Wygen goes down the inside of Roberg. Still trying to fight it out for the lead of the race here this afternoon. Oh, heads up. Justin Johnson down on the inside of the racetrack. He's going to slip all the way back through this field, while the top two just cannot break away from each other. Bobby Blowers sitting in the wings. He is having a good time of it right now. Trouble back straight away. Wesley Riddle goes around, and caution number 3 at just lap 13. That one brought out by the DoorDash number 23. So we'll jump back and take a look. Oh, contact with Justin Johnson had some help. And that spun Riddle up towards the outside. He's going to go nose first into the outside wall. That's a pretty sizable hit as well. And he'll bring it to a stop. as everyone else behind manages to scramble around him. Bobby Blowers will pit in from third in the 213 Simware. Shimano number 34. He is not the only one. Tristan Bear is in as well. And well, with more drivers down pit road, the top 13 continue to stay out. We will be back in a moment with more on Green Flag TV as this race tries to get its footing up and sorted. There goes the lucky dog up high.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV, where we are moments away from returning to Green Flag Racing. We are working our third caution of the afternoon. Roberg leading the way. Pacey Wygent up on his inside. So far, Roberg has opted for the outside lane for every race restart so far. Well, the pace car going to look to make its way down into pit road this time by, and will once again try to find our footing in racing action here this afternoon. The longest green flag run we had was the run that kicked off this race, and that run only lasted about 6 laps. Pace car's off. Oh, and no, we're already wrecking as a couple of them getting up and into the outside wall. That's the 12 of Scott McCann. Spun the tires, got into the fence, fading through the field. Looking like we're going to be able to get out of it without a caution, though. At least not yet. Roberg finally slips up. He's going to lose the podium as Wygent clears. Blaine Schneider, Wesley Triplett takes second and third. Further behind, plenty of drivers still in lockstep battles here. Look at Bobby Blowers trying to cut through the field. He is piling on the pressure to Rodney Ayers, trying to find his way around. Drivers are now fully back up to speed as the number 20 of Austin Johnson going to look to the inside. Oh, look, Cal Pelletier sharp, nearly getting into it there with Bailey Thompson, as Thompson rebounded off the wall and shot through the middle. Blaine Schneider puts down the quick lap of the race so far, and they're 3 wide coming out of turn number 2. A battle that quickly sorts itself out, but here comes Blaine Schneider. Schneider trying to look for the inside into turn numbers 3 and 4. Caution is out. And I think he was able to retake the caution there. And, well, that one looks like may have been brought out by George Chiampoulos. As he did manage to make his way back out onto the racetrack. This will be the third caution he's been involved in before lap 20. Spun sideways, overcorrected. Locked it down. And if that was the cause of the caution, I gotta be honest, I'm surprised it was one. I don't see much reason why that should have been a yellow, to be frank. Considering the fact that we've gotten 3 so far tonight already, this is the 4th. Boy, a rough ride for his race. More drivers, all in the back half of the field coming down to pit road. Austin Johnson, Sam Dooley, Wesley Riddle, Scott McCann, all into pit road, seeking more service. We'll bring up the Wolf of Motorsports driver and the one that started up on the front row of this race. We'll talk to Martin Roberg here under this 4th caution of the day. Martin, it's been an interesting run for you. You've opted for the outside lane for every restart so far, but this last one, it may have costed you a podium. Is the plan to still go high? Mr. Roberg, do we got you? Evidently, we do not have Martin Roberg, so we might be able to catch up with him a bit later down the line. Well, Roberg gonna still run in the 4th place spot. Now, if I'm Martin Roberg, you consider I just lost the podium off that top shelf. I'm debating on changing up the strategy here a little bit, right? I mean, you kind of want to maybe fiddle around with the line. You know, one go up, one go down. We'll see here. Snyder goes high. He does change it up. As there are your choose cone picks. Caution set to close if we get or stage set to close off if we get one more yellow flag. Again, the caution ends, or the stage ends at the end of lap number 26. Blaine Snyder was able to take the lead away from Pacey Wygen. Blaine Snyder leads the way to the green flag. We've got 4 laps to go in stage 1. Pacey Wygen retains the lead quickly with that momentum down to the bottom side, but Blaine Snyder can start to build it up top to try and chase her back down. Trouble behind as we got George Chiampoulos spinning down into the inside wall. Caution is out. And I do believe that will that'll be the stage. Tough break as now George Chiampoulos will find himself out of the fight. As this happened towards the tail end of the field. Yeah, just lost it all by himself. Oh, no, sorry. That was George Chiampoulos spinning to the inside to bring out our last caution. This one, sorry, that was Chris Chiampoulos. This will be George Chiampoulos. Coming out of turn numbers 1 and 2. And he had some help, a la Wesley Riddle, who found himself spinning earlier this race. 14 car slides down, and oh boy, a hard lick into the outside or inside wall. Kind of one going up, one coming down, one going around type situation there. Well, with the stage being over, this is going to bring effectively everybody down pit road, and no surprises on that one. Four tires in field looks to be the call for most. Pacey Wygen will leave pit road second, with Bobby Blowers beating around on a quick fuel only beating him out on a quick fuel only stop. Well, we'll get the chance to give a chit chat here to the driver of the PBR 00 that started this race on pole and now takes the win in stage number 1. Pacey, a good way to start off the race, even though it's been a bit of a stop-start run so far. How you feeling?
I'm feeling like I would like to go green. No, I mean, the car feels pretty good. Just kind of wish we had some green flag runs there. Obviously, I'm not going for short run speed or anything like that. It's all about the long run right now for me. So, not necessarily showing speed, but I feel like I'm getting the restarts pretty well.
Well, do you reckon with this stage to be here being a bit longer, you'll be able to get some of those green flag runs and show off some of that longer run pace?
I mean, I would hope. I think some of the people causing the wrecks, they might have wrecked out by now, so we'll hope. Let's hope for green flag.
All right, we'll wish you the best of luck out there on the restart. Congratulations on the stage 1 win.
Hi, thank you.
Pacey Wygen takes the W in stage number 1 of the afternoon for PBR, the 00, the driver that started this race from pole position. I believe this is now yellow flag number 6 or 7 at this point. And our next stage will come to a close at the end of lap number 72. Green flag back into the air. And already looking for 3 wide down to the turn number 1 as Pacey Wygen almost got mugged off the line. Quickly trying to attack Wesley Triplett for the top spot. Oh, no, not more. 2 cars hard into the inside wall. Timothy Presley and Bailey Thompson both go hard into the fence. Right into the safety vehicle opening, too. Oh, good grief, guys. It's caution number 7. We're not even at lap 30 yet. Come on. And that one, again, a result of contact. Take a look. As, yeah, just coming together. And both cars just shot for the inside and right into the opening. Gosh, that is a huge hit for both of those drivers. Take a ride on board here. This will be with the number 27 entry of Bailey Thompson. Kind of hard to tell what happened there. I'm curious if we can get a look from the air on this. Here we go. Did he get loose, or I mean, just started to kind of drift down the racetrack, and the 27 pushed right up into him. It's a case of just both drivers losing track of where their cars were. Well, the caution is back out here this afternoon. We'll take another step back, and we'll be back with more in a minute. Welcome back to Green Flag TV, where we are set to restart this race at the end of, I believe we are on caution number 8 at this point in time. Still, the longest green flag run has been the opening one that went about lap 7 or 8, and we have not gone more than 5 laps since then. Now the field is going to work their way into turn numbers 3 and 4. And we'll look to restart this race. Track temp has not improved much over the course of, since the last checked in about 20 minutes ago. It is down 7 degrees, but still a blistering surface, which is no doubt having a say in how this race has panned out so far. Green flag is back in the air. Triplet not able to jump Wygen. Wygen able to make that look to the inside for the race lead into turn numbers 1 and 2. Triplet going to go up high. All of this with still over 100 laps to go as Triplet maintains the race lead. Wygen now looking to the inside line. Tires slowly but surely kind of working back up to an optimal temperature. They remain double file as they come around through turn numbers 3 and 4. Look at how close Triplet is flirted with the outside wall. May have gone a bit too far this time as Wygen steals the lead away. And just in time, we're crashing on the front straightaway. Scott McCann, Peyton Stein are both getting into the wall. Looking like we'll be able to recover from there. Martin Roberg resets the fastest lap of the race with a 33.696. Going to go Lily Frazier, the Daytona winner, with a huge slide, and she's going to gather it up. Great save there for Lily Frazier. Take a look back. Look at how far side this car is going to get kicked out here in turn numbers 3 and 4. Great job, the rest of that car back underneath her. Oh, but not so lucky behind as Bailey Thompson going around. Rodney Ayers up on the outside. Well, he's going to get hit by McCann. They're still stacking him in. Now the caution's out again. And Ayers brings it to a stop. I think that was the longest run of the race we've had so far tonight. And you see Bailey Thompson. This kind of started with the driver of the WeatherTech number 27. Now the question is, was this with help, or did this start with a self-inflicted error? Well, the answer is going to be a self-inflicted. Just a huge bobble right into the path of Rodney Ayers, who couldn't avoid. As Thompson recovered, Ayers slid up the racetrack. And nowhere for Scott McCann to go. Just plowed into the back of the 17. That is a rough break. Casey Ellis had to scramble to avoid that. Right on board with Ellis and what he saw. Heads up. Still pedaling. There we go. Now we got it locked down. Well, we tried to talk to Martin Roberg earlier on. We'll try to see if he's perhaps able to talk to us again here this afternoon. Martin, you got us this time? Evidently not, man. Tough break, Martin. Sorry about that one. I mean, this is not going the way things we were anticipating. Under 100 laps to go now, as the field will once again look set to make their selections of lane for the restart. Been a rough ride for this race. Kind of reminds me about how Atlanta Motor Speedway went with the extremely rough race of the Legacy layout that we had there to kick off the season. Atlanta ended up having 17 cautions throughout the race. We are already on, I believe, number 10 just about now, and we are still a long way to go. Green flag is back into the air. Pacey Wygen able to drag himself clear for the lead of the race. Double file between Austin Johnson and Bobby Blowers coming down into second and third. Blaine Snyder going to now look to the bottom side of Wesley Triplett. Up high, Wesley trying to fight back up top. Blaine trying to pinch him in. A tough fight there between the two. Triplett able to haul the mail around the top shelf, and Lily Frazier might be trying to diamond that car off the top side of turn 4. driving back up and around for the 19 and the 88 as Blake Schneider nearly kicks the tail end out. Bobby Blowers and Austin Johnson. Gonna go side by side. Johnson secures from up top. Wesley Triplett looking down to the bottom lane, trying to sneak onto a podium. Timothy Presley from 11 laps down will take the fastest lap of the race. Gosh, Wesley Triplett just getting shut down. Martin Rober just unable to capitalize as Lily Frazier gonna look to work his way up and around. This is on board with Frazier. No look to get around Martin Rober just yet. Look at how much Rober is like trying to run through the middle. He's got some good mid-corner pace. Just hasn't quite come together for him yet. For the race lead, though, Austin Johnson finally pulls the trigger on Pacey Wine trying to look back down to the inside. Triplett looking to capitalize as Austin Johnson slips wide in two. Down the back straightaway, nearly 3 wide for the lead. Wide's going to retake number 2 and immediately shifts his line up top. Seeking to hound Johnson for the race lead. Coming around turn numbers 3 and 4, Austin Johnson continues to lead the way. It is right now a battle between Wesley Triplett and Pacey Waddington for second. Blowers and Roberg are fighting it out for 4th and 5th, just behind this duo as well. Looking like this field finally starting to find a little bit of its rhythm here. And literally as I'm saying that, Tristan Bear goes for a big slide. Looking like we'll be able to gather it up. We will not get a caution flag. But a pretty big moment there coming around turn numbers 3 and 4. For well, the car kind of just in front of this, and in fact, it was Johnson that got into the back of the 05 and just spun him around. Well, right on board of the number 33 of Justin Johnson and what he saw. Oh, a bit of a slip there from the 05 on entry. Not all Justin Johnson's doing, but a great save from the 05. And well, the caution flag is going to end up coming out regardless, as Sam Dooley will be spun around. Caution number 11 on the afternoon, just about. There you see Dooley just slip himself up. Overcorrects. Oh, that's going to be a big hit. That's a big hit into the outside fence in turn 4. He's going to spin her out, and that is going to be a day ender for Sam Dooley. Here comes the field. And this is going to see virtually everyone in, except for Lily Frazier, John Matthews, and that is it. Everyone else is in. So we'll look to go back at it again. Here's Lily Frazier, John Matthews, Johnson and Triplett will be on the top 4 rows. 51 laps in the books. Still over half this race remaining as the green flag drops. Remember, Frazier and Matthews did not come down to pit road under this yellow flag, and that is made evident by how much John Matthews botched the restart there, spun the tires up, and Austin Johnson immediately goes around the outside of Matthews. Quickly looks to the inside of Lily Frazier, trying to clear for the lead. Might not happen though, as Elena Pelletin sharps up into the wall. Well, they're able to gather things up and will keep it green. Frazier going to lose the lead as Johnson sweeps down to the inside and looks to take that front spot away. Frazier fighting back though up on the top side of the racetrack, and this is going to be a fight that Frazier hangs on to, surprisingly enough. Not for lack of trying from Austin Johnson though, as he is immediately going to send that thing back down to the inside of the racetrack. Stage is less than 20 laps away from being drawn to a close for the second time this afternoon. With that stage coming to a close at the end of lap number 72. Well, the battle for the lead started to die out. The battle for third is still hot as Rober gets around Lily Frazier. That's going to quickly turn into a fight for fourth with Blaine Snyder now trying to look down the inside. On board with Blaine Schneider as Bobby Blauer's going to look to the inside and look at the 34 car. Try to pull clear across the nose of Lily Frazier. Blaine not going to give him the opportunity, though, to get the in and pushes Lily Frazier down the front straightaway. And back into turn numbers 1 and 2. Blauer's really trying to pull in there. He's going to pull the slide job across the nose of Lily Frazier. Blaine Snyder checks into the fence as well. Gonna go up and into the outside wall as he tries to keep Zachary Wareham at bay. Trouble behind, Tristan Bear spinning out of turn number 4, down onto the apron. No yellow yet, now the caution's out. And that'll bring an end to the fight. Caution's out once again for Tristan Bear. We'll be back in a moment with more on Green Flag TV. Well, the field is looking to double them up once again, as we'll have less than 15 laps to go here in the second stage of the afternoon. We are about 7-8 laps away from the halfway marker of this one. Sit rep so far, we are well into the double digits now with the caution flag number, even though we are only on lap 60. We had 25 cars start this race. 20 are still on the racetrack, 19 of which are on the lead lap. Timothy Presley is 10 laps down. And is right now a driver that is hogging all the lucky dog spots, as Bailey Thompson, Troy Washburn, Scott McCain, Chris Giampoulos, and Aaron Lester are all out of the fight of racing action tonight. Pace car is off and into pit road as we'll once again look to try it again. Green flag is back in the air. 12 laps to go in stage 1, or stage 2, sorry. Austin Johnson pulling clear early on. Bobby Blowers going to clear from Wesley Triplett, and Martin Robert trying to look for the inside for third. Off the top shelf, Austin Johnson continues to full clear the field, now building a 0.3 of a second gap. Triplett and Blowers will remain double file for the number 2 spot. Exactly what Johnson's hoping to see as he tries to continue to run clear with a lead to try to secure a stage win this afternoon. Wesley Triplett, in fact, going to reset the fastest lap of the race with a 33.476. And that is all in the battle for second place. Around goes Pelletier Sharp. Sharp spins down, tags the inside wall. And yet again, caution comes out. Third, make that 4th or 5th one on the day now for cars spinning way to the inside of the back straightaway, not impeding anything on the traffic. But the yellow flag comes up regardless. Austin Johnson continues to lead the way as we now have less than 10 laps to go in stage 2. Jump back. And for Sharp, this is going to be self-inflicted, just like pretty much every incident tonight's been. A long slide to the inside for the Instatek Sim Sports number 71. Gonna tag the left rear off the inside fence and keep going. Take a look at speed. Boy, John Matthews really had a time of that getting around that mess. Here is Matthews. This is on board with him. Right in front of Sharp. Just slipped right through the middle. So Sharp down to pit road, and it's going to be a long stop as she works to get things sorted for her. Good time as ever to mention once again that this broadcast tonight is brought to you by the 4 and Fuel Podcast, a NASCAR podcast that is talked through the perspective of 4 lifelong NASCAR fans. You'll hear hot takes, fan questions, trivia, and much more. Stay in touch with the NASCAR world as hosts Dom, Steve, Wes, and Sam give you the real fans' perspective. Tune in every week on Spotify and on YouTube. Episodes are released weekly and content is produced daily on social media. Follow the 4 and Fuel Podcast on Spotify, X, TikTok, and Instagram. Well, the field is stacked up, doubled up, and ready to go at it. Only about 8 laps to go in stage 2. It ends at the end of lap 72. Thinking back on that, I absolutely did not do that math correctly. 6 laps to go in stage 2. There we go. See, I can do math when I feel like it. Pace car pulls down to the pit road. Austin Johnson leads the way off top. Bobby Blowers down to the inside. Triplett and Roberg will go double file. We're back to green. Looking for 3 wide, coming up and around here through turn numbers 1 and 2, and oh boy, Roberg clearing himself across the nose of Zachary Wareham. Pacey Wygant will take the opportunity to slip to the inside. And just like that, we are now halfway home. 67 down, 67 to go. Up top, Bobby Blowers and Austin Johnson trying to fight it out for the lead of the race as Blowers wants to go. He's going to look for the inside line. Oh no, look out, big trouble. Up into the outside wall, takes Johnson with him. No caution, will keep it green. Big troubles for the lead of the race though. Blowers and Johnson tumble down. Big damage on both of them. Wesley Triplett resets the fastest lap of the race, while everyone else desperate to try and find a way through. Oh boy. All of a sudden, everything just got kicked in overdrive. Now Lyndon Frazier is looking to spin around in turn number 4. Still no caution. We'll still keep it green. Triplett losing ground to Pacey Wygant as Wygant trying to put himself back into the lead of the race and go back-to-back in the stages. 2 laps to go in stage number 2, this time by Pacey Wygant lunges for the inside, trying to secure the move from Wesley Triplett. Triplett trying to battle back up top, not clear! Door-to-door contact down the front straightaway, 2 to go in stage 2. Wygant clears, Triplett with the over-under, sneaking to the inside, down the back straightaway. Triplett's going to send the Clearing Off podcast number 74 Mustang down to the turn numbers 3 and 4. Wygant up top as Triplett gets a little bit loose. Wygant looking for the lead of the race. Final lap in stage 2. Pacey Wygant clears. Again, Triplett diamonds the corner. Sneaks back to the inside, down the back straightaway. Coming around to the turn numbers 3 and 4. Can Wesley Triplett hang on? Pacey Wygant backing up the corner, lunging forward down to the middle. But he won't get there in time. Wesley Triplett, winner in stage number 2. Wygant, Johnson, Wareham, the other Johnson, Matthew Snyder, Ricky, Mayer, and Roberg close out the top 10. Boy, what a wild ride, and it all kicked off with the top 2. Just absolutely fell apart. Watch Bobby Blowers look to the inside, bobbled off the bottom side, just nicked Austin Johnson and put both cars into the fence. Roberg got stacked up in there as well, and that's what costed him a potential top 5 in the second stage. A wild, wild ride will put us to the end of this stage 2 here this afternoon. That was a fight and a half. Unfortunately, Wesley Triplett not available for comment, it looks like. Again, expecting virtually everybody here to come down pit road. We will now be green to the end of this race with 60 laps to go. The only cars that stay out are those that were laps down, and George Chiampolis staying out, interestingly enough. I'm not sure what to make of that one, I'm going to be honest. Well, the field is going to look to catch back up to the tail end of the pacing line. We'll bring Zachary Wareham up here and into the broadcast booth and give a chit-chat to the driver that finished 4th in stage number 2. Zach, boy, quite a wild ride there for a little bit as you kind of found yourself all in the middle of all the chaos going on there at the back end of stage 2. Talk us through it.
Well, first things first, hey Nolan, it's been a long time no speak. Yeah, it's been a wild race so far. I didn't really fully see that incident that happened right towards the end of stage 2. Looked like maybe the 20 got in a little bit hot, or maybe it was the 74. I couldn't really tell. Slid up, but hey, allowed me to get 4th place stage points. Hoping to just keep this going. I don't consider Homestead a very good track of mine, so I'm already having a great night.
It's been a rather stop-start race so far, but with both stages behind us, do you reckon that is set to change, or is this going to be the rhythm throughout the remainder of this race tonight?
It's all going to be down to whether these guys can keep these cars under them, which, I mean, as annoying as it is for someone who wants a long green flag run, I do understand it's tough out there. So I hope we can get some good runs in. If we don't, I'm all right with that too, because we got track position.
All right, well, wish you the best of luck when we go racing once again. Congratulations on a solid drive, and we'll see you hopefully again at the end of the race.
Thank you, Nolan.
Zachary Wareham, currently situated in 5th after George Chiampolis opted not to come down to pit road under the stage 2 yellow. From here, if we can go green, it'll be green to the end. Green flag is back in the air, and racing action resumes once again from Homestead-Miami Speedway. And 4 wide for the lead already. Zachary Wareham to the inside. He's going to take the lead. George Chiampolis slides him out sideways. No way, we just pulled that off. 3 by 3 and still 4. George Chiampolis slipping backwards. And 0 to 0 for him. Now, Wareham trying to fight it out with Wesley Trevor at the head of the field. 4 wide for the top spot is not something you see every day as Wesley Triplet quickly takes the lead back away from Wareham. Unbelievable drive that we had there to kick off the 3rd and final stage of the night. Peyton Snyder going to put down the fast lap of the race so far, a 33.301. Good solid drive for Snyder. Meanwhile, Zachary Wareham going to lunge to the inside of Wesley Triplet. Triplet rebounds off the wall. But Wareham clears, and he'll lead a lap at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Oh, trouble! Turn 2. Blaine Snyder around. Tristan Bear, Rodney Ayers collected as well. And the caution is out again. Wareham continues to lead the way. Started up in turn 1. As Tristan Bear just lost the back end, slid down into Blaine Snyder. Blaine tried to check up, but unfortunately, when he corrected up, just nothing he could do about it. Then Rodney Ayers with nowhere to go, punt to the 05, back into the outside wall. And around goes the 88 with them. Boy, Lily Frazier making a real big scramble to duck around that, right on board at the 13. Any surprises here? More cars in a pit road. Flowers, Robert, Dooley, Blaine Snyder, George Giampoulos, Bayer, Ayers, Ellis, Matthews, and Presley. No, sorry, Timothy Presley staying out. I could give it a chance here to get a bit more of a chat here with some of the other drivers throughout this field. We'll look to, why not? Let's go deeper in the field here. Let's talk to Timothy Presley here, currently 7 laps down. Timothy, a pretty wild race so far for you. You were at one point over 10 laps down, and well, now you find yourself only 7. How are you feeling?
Honestly, feeling a little bit bummed out. I know I have a really good car, and you know, being so many laps down, not really much to show for it. But you know, hoping there's enough cautions, maybe race my way back through, get my couple laps back that way. But we'll see how it goes. Just gonna try to salvage what I can, figure out a good finish here.
Of course, over the next couple weeks here, we look. It's going to be a good run, right? I mean, you got a lot of chances still left in the season. I know next week we swing out to Milwaukee. Do you reckon this car will have a good showing there as well?
I wish I could tell you that's a track that I have never been to, let alone in a car like this.
All right, well, wish the best of luck regardless, both on the restart and when we go over to Wisconsin. And who knows, maybe we'll be talking to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Timothy Presley currently running 7 laps down for the Jerry Martin Racing crew. And like he says, just trying to survive at this point in time. Still going to work out at turn numbers 3 and 4, and we'll look to do it again. Green flag back in the air. Wareham and triplet. Oh no, Sharp! Look out, Sharp! Sliding up and into the wall, had a bit of contact there as well. Justin Johnson gonna look for the inside, and that's gonna end up thankfully going the way that they were hoping for. Oh boy, bit of a close call there. Nearly had another caution right out of the gate. Meanwhile, Triplet leads the way. There goes Zachary Wareham trying to look to take number 2 away from Pacey Wygant. Oh no, Triplet's up into the fence. Heads up, he's gonna get the back end twitched out. He'll recover, but that lets Wareham back through for the lead. Now under 50 to go. Peyton Snyder, step of the back end out. Now Peyton Snyder's going to go around. Nope. Snyder gathers her up. A good solid drive for Peyton Snyder to bring that car back underneath him. Although he will slip outside of the top 10 and all the way back to 12 as a result. Now we're looking for 3. Justin Johnson trying to go down the inside of Wesley Riddle. Lily Frazier gonna look down to the inside as well. Johnson up the racetrack, almost into the 23 of Riddle. Boy, these guys are just showing all gas, no brakes here this afternoon. The 13 car gonna send her in firewall deep, trying to get up and around Wesley Riddle. He'll do so, while Zachary Wareham is looking to pull clear at the head of the field. Martin Roberg and Alex Rickey still fighting it out back here as well. Tristan Bayer, unfortunately, with a meatball flag, his day is going to be done. And we'll find out what happened to the driver of the 05. All by himself, down hard into the inside wall with a vicious impact. And somehow, despite what's been a caution earlier on, there was no yellow for that. Whoa, now Peyton Snyder's gonna go spinning around on a turn number 4. Down to the inside. Now the caution comes out. Keep it off the wall. Gets it locked down. A great job for Peyton Snyder to lock that bad boy down. And yet again, we are under caution. Peyton Snyder up to the outside wall. Just going to lose the back end. Overcorrects. Nowhere for Blaine Snyder, Peyton's relative, to go. And right here, watch this. Throttles up to keep it off the inside wall. That is a great job to keep that car out of the inside. That could have been a real nasty moment. From the pit road cam. Phew, boy. That's some fine driving right there. A few cars cutting to the pit road. Pacey Wygant is among them, and oh boy, all right. Well, split decisions. We're going to bring a few of them down. Top 3, Wareham, Johnson, and Blaine Snyder all opting to stay out. Well, how about that? So a few of them opting to come down pit road, and I found most of the field coming down pit road. A good chunk staying out. Wareham, Johnson, and Blaine Snyder all opting to remain on the racetrack. Checking back in on how the temperature is looking. The track temp has gone down considerably. It was up to 122 at the very start of the race. You can see a very, very steady downtrend down to just 98 degrees as a result of the cooling temperatures later on in the afternoon. The day temp, interestingly enough, has gone down none. It remains 83 just as it was at the very start of the race. In fact, it actually may have gone up by a degree since it started. I believe it was at 82. In fact, track temp's just gone down another degree. It's now down to 98. Well, here we go. Green flag coming back out into the air. 41 laps on the docket. Oh, and an immediate cut to the inside. That's going to be a brave look, and it's going to go nowhere. Justin Johnson lunged for it, and the 99 of Alex Ricky tried to follow suit. Nothing doing, though. Up top, Austin Johnson trying to make short work of Zachary Wareham. Wareham opted for the inside. He might come to regret that. Blink Steiner goes around the outside, as does Austin Johnson. And then now around going to go Alex Ricky. Ricky still sliding. He's going to go fully around it up into the outside wall. Caution comes out again, and the front runners will be able to get him slowed down. Yet again, another self-spin to put us under the yellow flag. We'll be back with more in a moment on Green Flag TV. Stay with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV. We are looking once again to go back to racing here with just under 40 laps on the docket. Blaine Snyder leading the way. Austin Johnson down on this inside. Zachary Wareham has dropped back to third as a result of the latest yellow flag. Green flag coming out this time by as we'll enter the Geico restart zone, and on the loud pedal is Austin Johnson leading the field back around to turn number 1. Well, Johnson pulling clear early on, as has Blaine Schneider. Zachary Wareham going to cover off Justin Johnson to get himself a push down the front straightaway. Casey Wygen trying to look for the inside of the 64 entry, not able to do so. Austin Johnson up at the very head of this field, attempting to become the first repeat winner of the Lightning Series here in their opening season, as well as the first driver to go back-to-back. He has just set the fastest lap of the race. Oh boy, Zach Wareham getting up and into the wall. That's going to put him 3 wide. Johnson turn. Oh, hard into the outside wall behind for John Matthews. Matthews with a hard impact into the outside wall. Spins down to the inside. And the yellow is out again. It's all started back here in turn 3, I think. Wesley Riddle just up the road, and you see Peyton Snyder up high. John Matthews started the lift, and just had the air taken off of him by Elena Pelletier-Sharp, but then a hard lick into the outside wall. Nowhere for Rodney Ayers to go. As the 98 going to spin around and bringing her to a stop on the front straightaway. Oh boy, a lot of cars had to really pedal down low. Oh. Right here, lifts off the brakes and just rolls down the racetrack, and that is frankly unacceptable. Nearly caused that to be a much worse incident than it was. Right on board with George Chiampoulos, and look at how close this ended up being. It's a good thing he had some heads up there, because, oh boy, that could have been real nasty. Three drivers stay out. Those drivers are Chiampoulos, Ricky, and Sharp. With everyone else into pit road. Interestingly enough, Lily Frazier only opting to take 2 on that one. Only 9.9 seconds in the box. She is the only one to do so. Well, the field going to get set to once again make those decisions as to who's going to go where on the restart. Sharp picks the inside, Ricky up high, Giamplis up high, Frazier up high. And that's going to let Austin Johnson pick up quite a few spots as he picks the inside line. Part of why I love the choose cone rule, right? I mean, it really lets you kind of open up the strategy on the restarts, right? Do you want to go with everyone else at the optimal line, or do you want to risk putting yourself offline, but jump up quite a few rows? Pace cars off once again. Elena Pelletier Sharp, I think for the first time all race long, going to be leading the way with the Ace Tech Sim Sports number 71. Green flag is back in the air. And crashing already is Lily Frazier going to spin her down. Collects Martin Roberg going around, going to go Timothy Presley and Rodney. Rodney Ayers collected again. And so it begins. George Chiampoulos didn't go. So that wasn't wheel spin. That was just George Chiampoulos not going. Justin Johnson runs into the back of Lily Frazier and spins her around. The 60 car of Roberg then gets collected. That's going to spin her back up the racetrack. She locks it down. But the 32 car just panic brakes, locks it up as well, trying to avoid, goes into the outside wall and takes Presley with him. Was Chiampoulos in the wrong gear? That's what it kind of looked like. Let's right on board with George here. I'm curious. No, I mean, just a very late response and just... I don't have an answer for that. Well, I'm sure Sharp isn't complaining about this, as this allows for Elena Pelletier Sharp to get out there way in front. Log just a few more laps. Looking like it'll be 26 to go when we try to get this race back underway. continue to work further and further into the evening. Once again, the drivers that have not come down to pit road, Sharp and Ricky now. Austin Johnson taking full advantage of this chance to get himself up on point. And while I would expect for Austin Johnson to make short work of Sharp here and go right to the lead, given that there's no one between him and Sharp, and well, he's on about 10 lap pressure tires. And on the optimal line to boot. Green flag is back in the air as Sharp leads the field down in the turn numbers 1 and 2. Johnson immediately cuts in line, not wanting to give Pacey Wygen any source of an in. Now going to look high to try to make the move on Sharp as Sharp covers off the bottom. Trying to hold him up there. It's not going to matter. Austin Johnson sweeps into the race lead. Pacey Wygen, though, attacks from down low. And all of a sudden, Johnson has got a new opponent to face, and this one is on the same tire strength as he is. The sun continues to dip lower as Sharp going to get into it with Justin Johnson deeper in the pack. Zachary Wareham and Wesley Triplett are in the mix here as well. Oh no! Pacey Wygen is into the fence! Caution comes out. Oh, Rodney, what are we doing here? Pacey Wygen going to get it down onto the apron. What the heck happened there? I mean, we looked away for all of about 10 seconds and it fell apart. Pacey Wygen had the lead. Oh, just lost it on entry. Slides up at a big impact into the fence. Popped the motor immediately with a big detonation. And had to slow to a stop, and Ayers just panicked. Trying to avoid, I think. Slides, boom, hard into the wall. On board with Ayers. Whoops. Brutal end for Pacey Wygen, the driver that won the opening stage. Takes himself out of the race with a crushing blow. So you're right on board with Pacey Wygen here. Oh, man. Well, Johnson will now lead the way. Blaine Snyder second, Justin Johnson third, Sharp and Triplett fourth, fifth, and then Wareham, in theory, should bring up the first 3 rows. And pretty much even split throughout Johnson goes high, Schneider goes low, vice versa, all the way back with Johnson, Sharp, Triplett, and Wareham. 22 laps to go, and I believe we have now surpassed our caution number from Atlanta. Look at Blaine Snyder already trying to hold Austin Johnson up on the outside line. Does not want to give Johnson any room to turn down the racetrack. Really playing the strategy game to try and keep the thermal number 20 on the offset here, but it's hard to do when you have such a good starting spot. Green flag is in the air. Oh, but Sharp doesn't go. Elena Peltier, Sharp didn't go. They're able to gather it up, but that's going to cause a lot of separation as Austin Johnson takes advantage of the chaos and sweeps into the lead. No, and around goes Blake Snyder, taken out by Justin Johnson. Down to the inside, a big hit for Casey Ellis. Ellis absolutely smokes the inside wall entering turn 3. And Johnson now leads the way. Boy, Blaine, Justin Johnson flashed out for a moment there. And when he came back in, he immediately turned Blaine Snyder. Watch the 33 up high. Right around here, he blinks out. And Blaine's running his line. Justin Johnson caught the wall and just turned dead left into Blaine Schneider, right where he hooked him into the wall. And then here comes Casey Ellis with nowhere to go, and he is just gonna, oh my, just pounds the inside wall. Oh, that is a very violent hit into the inside wall, right on board with Ellis. No idea what happened to Justin Johnson. Let's ride on board at the number 33. I don't know what to say. No words. That hit that Casey Ellis took there, one of the most violent hits that we have ever seen at this racetrack on Green Flag TV. "17 laps on the boards as Austin Johnson will look to take them back to the green flag. We had 25 cars start this race. Only 17 are left on the racetrack, and only 14 are still on the lead lap. A race to forget for most. Same for Austin Johnson, who is seeking to become the first repeat winner of the season. After making his first ever start in the series just last week at Chicago. Green flag is back in the air. Boy, Wareham really trying to hold Bobby Blowers down the inside. That lets Sharp get clear up top. Single file all the way through the field. For really one of the first times on any restart of this race. There goes Lily Frazier down the inside of Wesley Riddle. Gonna look to pick off 6th place while Bobby Blowers tries to improve his standing within the top 5, and he's gonna do so by going around the outside of Wareham. Blowers really working that outside lane right up there. Peyton Snyder gets in it with Martin Roberg. They're gonna pull it together. And Roberg, despite that, puts down the fastest lap of the race with a 30.003. Blowers now looking to go around the outside of Pelletier Sharp, gonna get the job done. Now Lily Frazier up high, gets into the outside wall. Coming back around in the turns 1 and 2. I think drivers know that time is rapidly running out, so they're starting to experiment with the different lines, trying to find whatever speed you got anywhere on the racetrack. Austin Johnson building out one of the biggest leads we've seen all night long. Flowers, meanwhile, takes the spot away from Wesley Triplett. Sharp down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Trying to hold Blowers up there, trying to hold Frazier up there. Blowers sweeps into 3rd. But Frazier not done fighting yet, to the inside of Sharp. And through. Now fighting down the back straightaway with 12, looking for 11 to go. Wesley Riddle, Martin Roberg. Now packed up behind Elena Pelletier Sharp without many places to take those runs. Roberg still sitting in the wings as well. As Sharp effectively a cork in the bottle with some of the oldest tires. In fact, does have the oldest tires out of anybody in the field so far. Hence, all the checkups we're seeing behind the number 71. Wareham going to charge to the bottom, trying to make it happen, but he's going to bobble the back end and be put 3 wide with Roberg and the 23 of Riddle above him. The 60 of Roberg goes down to the inside. Wesley Riddle maintains momentum up on the outside. Up front, Lily Frazier still trying to attack Bobby Blowers for 3rd. Roberg clears Riddle. And Riddle can't go for the over-under because he's got Wareham on his left rear quarter panel. Riddle going to go around the outside of Wareham as Zach Wareham still tries to fight his way towards the top 5, but it just is not happening. Under 10 laps to go. Another twitch from Sharp as Roberg fires off the top side. Looking to get around. Elena Pelletier is Sharp going to send that one to the bottom. Sharp, though, immediately trying to get the swing back down the back straightaway. So Roberg may have gotten the spot, but he's not done fighting for it as Elena Pelletier is Sharp trying to fight back to the bottom side of 3 and 4. Oh, but she bobbles again. And once more, Martin Roberg looking for the inside into turn 1. Crossover after crossover between the two. The battle for 4th remains a hotly contested one while Johnson, Triplett, and Blowers continue to build up the runs needed to maintain their runs in the top 3. Finally, Roberg forced to give to Lily Frazier. Lily Frazier now trying to run down Bobby Blowers. Blowers pulling the IndyCar snake, trying to keep Sharp behind. 5 laps to go, this time by. Further behind them, Sharp now being pressured by Riddle and Peyton Snyder. 3 wide through turn numbers 3 and 4. Peyton Snyder slides across the nose of Sharp. Sharp gonna get back to the back bumper, nearly puts the bumper to the 48. Wesley Riddle gets around to the inside of Sharp as well. And it looks like Elena Pelletier Sharp's bid at trying to fight for a top 5 may have just come to a close as a result. Looking for 3 laps to go. What does Lily Frazier have in the scrap for 3rd? Bobby Blowers has been doing a phenomenal job on just hanging on, trying to maintain his run in that final critical podium position. So far, Blowers has been able to maintain that gap, and it looks like it's a gap he'll continue to maintain throughout the remainder of this race. Lily Frazier's been able to pull in little by little, but not nearly enough to make a difference in the long term of things here. He'll come around and start the final lap of the race. Oh, and Sharp forced in a pit road. Something has happened to Elena Pelletier Sharp as she comes down to the pits. Peyton Snyder, meanwhile, has been disqualified, possibly for an incident limit on Snyder. We'll get a look at what happened to them in just a moment. But for now, Austin Johnson, round 3, round 4, Austin Johnson back-to-back in his first 2 starts of the Bolt Racing League's Lightning Series. A stellar drive. Martin Roberg has major damage to his car. See the left rear locked up as he's just trying to limp his way around. What the heck happened back here? We'll find out in a few moments. For now, there is Austin Johnson, who wins a bloodbath of a race at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Taking wins in his first 2 starts. I think that very much establishes him as a major threat to the field this afternoon. Well, take a look back on what happened to some of the drivers here coming to the end of this thing. This is Elena Pelletier Sharp. Just trying to figure out what happened to Sharp as, well, she just ended up coming down pit road. No idea why. But then Peyton Snyder. Martin Roberg directly in front of Peyton Snyder here. Oh my gosh, okay, never mind. Peyton Snyder not disqualified for the incident limit. And that was immediate. That was no question what happened there. I feel like there is a story here. We're going to back this up a good distance here. So this is about a lap or 2 prior. Looking for Peyton Snyder. I mean, I can't think of anything wrong that Peyton did to Martin Roberg. But you can see Peyton Snyder was kind of riding along the wall, just trying to catch him. I mean, and that was one thing that was pointed out to drivers before the race. You are not allowed to ride the wall to gain an advantage. And I don't know what else you could call that, but putting the car right up against the outside wall and just gunning it. Closing in more and more on Martin Roberg. And then in turn 1, that is disgusting. Shameful. That deserves a league ban. Peyton Snyder does not deserve to run another race in the Bolt Racing League Lightning Series. He doesn't deserve to run another race here in general. That is disgusting. That is terrible. Absolute shame on you for that. That is horrible. I feel bad for Martin Roberg. I don't know what he did to deserve that, but I hope the league administration takes appropriate action, because that is unacceptable in any circumstance. That is no place on iRacing. That is no place in any league racing. If you have that type of attitude, you do not deserve to be in a race car. Full stop. Well, after that rocky ride there to close things out, we'll take a rundown of your official post-race results here this afternoon. Austin Johnson takes home the race win ahead of Wesley Triplett. Bobby Blowers down in 3rd. Lily Frazier in 4th. Wesley Riddle in 5th. Wareham in 6th. Ricky in 7th. Sam Dooley, Rodney Ayers, and Blaine Schneider close out the top 10. Justin Johnson at 21st. Elena Pelletier Sharp in 22nd. Martin Roberg failed to finish the race after a disgusting move on the final lap there Timothy Presley finishes 2 down, with John Matthews failing to finish this race in general. Same story for George Chiabolis, Casey Ellis, Pacey Wygent, Tristan Bayer, and Bailey Thompson. With Troy Washburn, Scott McCann, Chris Chiabolis, Aaron Lester, Peyton Snyder, and Lane Myers closed on the field. Myers did not start this race due to a medical incident earlier on. Meanwhile, Peyton Snyder was disqualified for that final lap incident, rightfully so, and frankly, deserves worse punishment than that. Well, moving on past that, we'll get set to give a chit-chat here to the drivers that come home here on top of the podium, and we'll look to start it off first and foremost with Austin Johnson, the driver that has now taken 2 race wins in his first 2 starts of this season. Austin, I think there's no better way to show that you're a title threat than going back-to-back in your first 2 starts. Talk us through the night.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but no, it was an interesting race to say the least. It started off kind of rough with some of the yellows, and my Q lap, I wasn't able to even get one in. I didn't realize it was 1 lap, and I messed up, unfortunately. But I was able to get through the field pretty cleanly, and try to avoid some of the contact, even though I still got spun out a little bit. I was able to fix all the damage and get back going, and was able to fight through all this stuff and end up in first place.
Overall, a good drive for you here this afternoon. This one had quite a few more slowdowns than the Chicago Street Course had just 1 week ago. Do you reckon that was all down to the track temp and it being over 122 degrees when we started that kind of contributed to that?
Yeah, I mean, the track was super slick. It was like the razor thin edge. Like if you got a little sideways, it was gonna snap. So you just kind of had to just baby it around, and sometimes you push it and you get a little loose and you lose like 2/10 on the straight, or you almost spin out. So it's like whoever wants to risk the most can get it. Yeah, compared to Chicago, it was definitely a lot more hiccups in the way, I guess you could say, for me in particular. But it was still pretty fun getting through and racing with everybody.
Well, coming on up next week, it's going to be a pretty interesting drive as we'll take to the Milwaukee Mile, a track that's been making a bit more of a resurgence of the stock car scene over the last year or so on iRacing. What's your take as we swing to Wisconsin?
Yeah, I mean, I've had some races there in the past that I've done, and I've done pretty well there. In this car, I don't know, it'll be probably pretty tough. Same kind of on-edge feeling that you'll get anywhere in this next-gen car. So hopefully we can keep all the cars straight and get some green flag runs going, and we'll see where it goes.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck when we go racing once again, and hopefully it'll be, who knows, it might be 3 for 3 when we go racing next week. We'll see you there.
All right, thank you.
Austin Johnson comes home number 1 this afternoon. We'll bring up Wesley Triplett into the broadcast booth. Wesley, a hard-fought drive for you. You come home number 2 here this afternoon. I tell you what, a wild ride this afternoon, but you are able to survive the melee and come home second. How do you feel?
Hey, pretty good, man. This ain't like my main car or anything. I'm pretty terrible at it, like, by my own standards, but I'm like forcing myself to race it. So this was probably the best I could do.
Well, hey, you were up at the front pretty much all night long. And I mean, I don't think anybody's disputed that 74 car deserved to be up there. Kind of talk us through the race as a whole tonight, because I know this one was a bit of a rough ride, but not many drivers come out of it with a virtually clean race car like yours was.
Yeah, it was pretty clean. I tend to just give, you notice things on the track, and I tend to just give people room if I'm not sure if they're, good with car control. So I just give everybody extra room until you showed me that you can race me hard and clean, then I'll race you hard and clean. I just lived by that the whole race. There was a few times to shoot the 88, the 00, Bobby, a few guys, and the 20. Like we was throwing crazy passes and sliders and stuff. Man, it was so fun when nobody was wrecking in the front. It was really fun.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck when we go racing next week in Milwaukee. Congratulations on taking home a good, solid win, and we'll see you again later on in the running here.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Wesley Triplett comes home number two this afternoon. We'll bring up Bobby Blowers, the driver that comes home number 3 this afternoon. And, well, Bobby started third, finished third. Been a while since we've been able to talk to each other, but now I think we'll get to talk to each other a little bit more frequently nowadays if that car's going to keep being on the podium.
I am so glad that I finished on the podium tonight because it's just felt like I've had the speed to get here. It's just not the execution, but finally just all the pieces went together, and yeah, I'm over the moon. It was third.
You had to really work for it, though, tonight, especially in the closing laps there with a intense fight with Lily Frazier, who was really looking to kind of get up and harass the back bumper of yours. Kind of talk us through the afternoon. How are you feeling after that one?
Felt really good early on. I got a little aero wash there midway through stage 2, I think it was, and was just fighting damage for most of the rest of the race. Finally got it fixed there on like the 3rd or 4th to last yellow, and from there I was just trying to pick my way back through the field and probably used up a little too much tire there, but right at the end there I was just playing the dirt guy mindset. If I hold the top, there's no way she can get around me unless she throws in the slider, and then I can clear her anyway. I don't know. That was a fun one there.
Well, overall, a good outing for you. Do you reckon it'll be a similar outing when we go to Wisconsin next week to the Milwaukee Mile?
As much as I want to say, yeah, I won't be around next week on vacation, unfortunately, but definitely going to be tuning in here if I can get connection anyway.
All right, well, we'll wish you the best of luck when we go racing next time we see you up next, and who knows, we'll see you when we go racing once again.
Yes, sir.
Bobby Blowers comes home with a good run this afternoon, finishing third after starting third. One of only 2 drivers finished this race exactly where they started. Well, a lot to go over tonight with race control, no doubt. But after a long and a hard-fought race, we're set to draw things to a close here this afternoon. And, well, when we go racing next here on Green Flag TV, it'll be tomorrow night with the SRA NAS Classic Series out at the Darlington Raceway. The Blaze Metals ARCA Series is over at Chicagoland over on Sunday afternoon, alongside the For the Boys Racing League, who'll be racing at the Echo Park Speedway over on Sunday night. From there, the High Tide Racing League Jordan Premier Series is out at Michigan this coming Monday with the Ole Miss Road Gold Series. Out for Las Vegas on Tuesday. A triple header for Wednesday afternoon with a Global IndyCar Challenge. Out for race 4 at Iowa, followed by the Beer League with their season over to Phillip Island. That'll be alongside another episode of the Premier Sim Racing Expo Truck Series. And, of course, don't forget to catch the Average Joe Sim Racing League and the Highline Diecast Collectible Speed Cup Series on Thursdays as well. That'll take us around to next Friday, where we'll be racing at the Milwaukee Mile for the Boat Racing League with the Lightning Series. If you want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com. My name is Nolan Rempel. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you all when we go racing next week on Green Flag TV.